There's a clear contradiction here.
In the blood stain?
The blood is clearly cut off from where the snow was melted by the fire, which means that the blood in question was spilled before the fire was started.
But the fire happened before the murder, no?
If we choose to believe the case filed, yes. But if the fire was actually set after what happened here...
The kid who lit it might have seen something.
Then why isn't there a witness statement? Because that would have challenged Chairman Winter's version of events.
We need to know more about this fire. You!
Yes, Shifu?
The fire might have been reported to the police, which means there might be a record of it. Go see if there are anything and bring everything you find back here right away.
Understood, Shifu. I'll get right on it.
One more thing.
What is it, Shifu?
Contact my family back in Shangfa. Tell them to search my father's office. There should be something there related to the case.
There should? What kind of something exactly?
I told you I've seen this case somewhere before, didn't I? Well, I've remembered where. It was in my father's office. He had a picture of it, or at least something very much like it.
What?
It looks like it was drawn by a child.
Possibly a child from the orphanage. Possibly even the child who set the fire.
It should still be there somewhere. Tell them to send it right away.
Yes, Shifu. And then the man in black leaves. Investigation complete. Alright, I get half of my bar, but it's not a full heal. That's fine. I took so many damage. Okay, the Shifu is back. I brought everything the police had on the fire, and also brought the picture from your father's office. Oh, and one more.
About time! What jumped you? Well, hand it over!
Let's take a look at this mysterious picture, shall we? Yeah, it's exactly like in the first game. It's been polished a bit, but yeah, this is a child's drawing. We see the orphanage. We see the president of Zhangfa with a bouquet of lion lilies and a plushie of Torosaurus with both horns. And we see a Picasso picture of Canis with his black dog visiting the guy. And he's got a knife.
This is it! This is the picture I remember!
Could this be a picture of something that happened on the night of the incident? Yeah, so basically, the blood was spilled on the snow, and that's why when the fire was set, it melted the snow along with the blood. If the fire was set before the murder, blood would have spilled on the snow and on the ground directly. But that's not how it happened. It sure looks like a kid drew it, huh? Yes, and I'm willing to bet it's the work of the child who set the fire. Child's drawing data jotted down in my organizer. Picture drawn by the child who caused the fire during the incident 12 years ago. It depicts what he saw the night of the incident. Shifu, there's...
What now? Look, you'll have to wait, okay? Well, Mr. Prosecutor? Why do you think my father kept this?
I imagine he acquired it at some point during his investigation. Although I have no idea why he would have chosen to keep it to himself. Could we see the case file for the fire too?
Sure, here.
If you'll just give me a moment to read through it. It seems the boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the evening of the incident. And then disappeared several days later.
What? Must have been because he saw something, right?
No, a kid? Really? That's horrible. But sadly, not unimaginable.
Looks like a kid left something behind that was put into evidence. What's this?
The horn! But what's it doing in that case file?
What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Have you seen this somewhere before?
Something very much like it, yes. We have a piece of evidence that could well be connected. Which items of evidence relate to the item the boy left behind? The PROSECUTOR'S plushie.
Take that!
I don't know what it was doing in the evidence for that case, but it looks like that might be the missing horn from this soft toy.
Hey, that was President Wang's!
You've seen it before.
Of course, he always kept it somewhere close by. I remember it because of the missing piece.
You see, there's a special device inside. It plays recorded sound when you twist the horn.
Hey, do you think maybe putting the horn back or on might unlock more recording?
Huh, you never know. The toy itself should still be up on the 51st floor.
Hey, you heard the man!
Yes, Shifu, I'll go fetch it right away. Here it is, Shifu. The PROSECUTOR'S doll, just like you asked.
Good work. Hand it to the prosecutor over there.
Well, does the horn found at the orphanage fit the president's plushie?
It fits perfectly! And any more recording on there?
Hi, Dijon. Sorry, President Wang. It's me, Amelie. I know it's been a while. I saw on the news that you were visiting the country soon, and I didn't know whether I should get in touch at all, but in the end I decided I had to.
Overruled.
Turn it off right now! Oh, she knows what's on the tape. What's got into Judge Gavel? Are you okay? Just turn it off, please! You see, I had a baby, a beautiful little boy. Your beautiful little boy. I'm sorry, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you. Oh, except I called him Sean. Sean Fenn. There's a nice ring to it, don't you think? No! Sean Fenn? The kid? And also that I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the night. I'll be waiting in the front yard. I thought you could meet him if you like, even if it's only just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's where we'll be. Goodbye. What? He was my dad? I'm so sorry, Sean.
Care to explain what the heck is going on, Gavel?
Sean isn't my biological son.
Pam, pam, pam.
I adopted him. And he was aware of this. Yes, of course. His mother, Amelie Fenn. Amelie Fenn. Amelie Fenn? Family. She died 5 years ago. We were cousins. But we were also friends, the best of friends. People often mistook us for sisters. And so when she died, it seems only natural that Sean should come and live with me. So he calls you mom, but you're actually his aunt. Of course, we have to keep his father's identity secret. And I decided that the best way to do that would be for him to never to know him in the first place. ... Sean ... That's quite a lot to learn from a recording made of a seemingly innocent toy. I guess Sean's mother must have recorded the message and then sent the plushie to the president. Hey. Yes, Sean? You're sure he was really my dad? Yes, I'm sure. Before you were born, your mother worked for a time as a diplomat in Jiangfa. Makes sense. That line of work might well have brought her into contact with the president. What? You told me she worked at the orphanage! Well, she did, but only after she returned, after she quit the diplomatic service. She always loved helping others. The orphanage was perfect for her. ...
Not so fast! Sorry, Judge Cavell, but I have to ask. Amelie, the lady who asked the president to come, why did she show up herself? Why isn't she anywhere in the files related to the SS5 incident?
She never made it to the rendezvous that night. Someone was telling her. I'll bet that was Chairman Winter's doing. Though sadly we cannot prove it. And because she couldn't make it, she never saw the president again. And then she died 5 years ago. This can't be easy for Sean. Hey, Sean, are you thirsty? We could go get a soda. She's trying to get him out of there. My treat, okay? Come on, I think I saw a vending machine over. Nah, you think I cannot buy myself a soda? This is important. And this is about me, I'm staying. Besides, I have plenty of carton of milk in my backpack. Oh, that didn't work at all. Sean, perhaps now you can guess why I met with the president 2 nights ago. So that's it. That was the big secret. I wanted to tell him face to face that Amelie was gone, but also that you were alive and well, more than well. But It makes sense now. No wonder Judge Cavell was so keen to avoid sharing the details of their meeting. Yeah, she would have had to share the truth about Sean, too. That was why I took the lion lilies with me. So there would be no doubt that I knew Amelie and that I knew her well. These flowers bore special significance to the two of them, you see. President Wang gave Amelie a bouquet of lion lilies in the early days of their romance. But now he too is dead. If only he had lived. Sean might finally have been able to get to know him. ... Shifu! I've been waiting for the right time to say this, but...
What? What is it? You've been hovering there this whole time? Can it wait?
No, they said something else from Zhengfa. President Wang's will.
What?
The president's will, huh?
He gave my father medal after medal. They had to come up with new ones just for him. In the end, there were no medals left to give, so he made us keepers of his last will and testament. Those medals, that duty, they are our greatest pride, our family jewels. Okay, here's the will that looks exactly like my Longji scroll. What? This is...
What is it, Agent Long? Does it have anything to do with our current case?
You could say that. Seems he was planning on publicly acknowledging Sean as his son.
Hold it! Sean's names appear in the president's will? And we're certain that the document is authentic. That's President Wang wrote itself?
Sure we are. It's old, but it's real. My family took charge of it back before the SS5 incident happened. They'll want to analyze it back home to be sure, but I would stake my name on it being the genuine article.
Wang, as a renowned world leader, a child nobody knew about would have been sure to cause a stir. And yet he chose to mention the child in his will nonetheless.
Well, that's that, I guess. I still can't quite believe it, but the president's confirmed it with his own hand. There's no denying it. Sean? I'm doing my best Moripovich impression, but you're President Wang's son!
Sean! He runs away. Sean! To be continued. I was so close. Save your progress. I mean... So this must be near the end. The truth behind the SS5 incident middle? Wait, are you for real? Is there more? The middle part is very long. Because there should be like a latter part later on. This with this line, this should be the latter part, and then there's going to be another latter part. So now we're back where we found the body. April 6, 4:51 p.m. Big building, empty lot. Gavel comes last, but everybody's here. We have Gumshoe, Kay, who's distraught, Eddie, Edgeworth. Gavel stands in front of Sean. We have Lang, Von Karma. In the back, we have Tabby Lloyd and Lotta Hart. Sean, he was my dad. It can't have been easy learning the truth about his father's identity so unexpectedly. And too late to even get to know him. You know how hard I tried to find him, right? Sean, I get it, he was a president. He had a lot more to think about than just me. But he was right there in front of me, right down the set. So why? Why didn't you just say something? Why didn't you tell me who he was? I'm sorry, Sean. I'm so sorry, she hugs him. It's not your fault, Mom, it's mine. If I had broken my promise to you, that fire would never have happened, and he wouldn't have. I ruined everything! Everything! It's all my fault! I even ruined your flowers! Sean, please, you mustn't blame yourself. Just try to be here with me. Just for a little while. The bond between parent and child, symbolized by the lion lily. I'm no expert, but it's native to Shangfa, so I know that much at least. Sadly, we don't have the luxury of dwelling on such things just now. I know it might seem insensitive, Agent Long, but sentimentality won't help us here. We need to focus on what we can do about the case before us. You're right. I believe we learned all we need to about what happened back then for now. How did it all line up with your father's theories about the case? I wouldn't know. He took those to the grave with him. He never shared his thought with anybody. There's no way of knowing now what he figured out. What about your own thoughts? Are you feeling any more positive in light of what we learned from Kay's reconstruction? Are we any closer to learning what really happened 12 years ago? You know, I think we might be. My father's footsteps are starting to become clear. Now all we need to do is follow them. All the way to the truth. The real story of the SS5 incident. The president went to the orphanage that night. That much we know for sure. The Torosaurus star proves it. Toys proves it. But we must have gone there to meet with Amelie Fenn. Except he was kidnapped, and Al Down happened to see it. If Al Down hadn't been there, there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping. You sure? Instead, they have to move his body to the planters and stage that photo to throw everything off the set. So that's our current theory, is it? SS5 incident case, data updated in my organizer. 12-year incident, which, okay. But there's something I still don't understand. There is? This picture. Why risk staging the picture? They would have had to force the president to play along. What if he hadn't? It's a good question. And we may be closer to discovering the answer than we think. We'll just have to get there one deduction at a time. Yeah, I guess we will. Alright? The deuce away. Okay, I need to check the new evidence, see what we can learn. So here we have the updated version. Occurred on February 10, 12 years ago. President Shifra kidnapped. Ransom $100 million. President's embassy until midnight confirmed by Dalong. Prosecutor, Excelsis winner. Suspect, Fifi Lagarde. Investigation notes. President Wang was supposed to meet Amelie Fenn at the orphanage at midnight. Witness Al Falden was murdered, his body moved, and a photograph of a kidnapping stage. Okay. What next? We have the autopsy report. Believed to have been murdered during a call. He was detecting something to get done. Lots of blood. Okay, okay. So now we have the final call, the button. So it'll be the night of the incident.
The president went to the orphanage that night. That much we know for sure.
Nothing should be taken for granted at this stage. We need to treat even the seemingly certain with caution. Can we really be sure that the president went to the orphanage?
I get it. You want evidence, right?
This is a nice change of pace from people asking you to show them proof, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? There's no need to actually say out loud, Kay.
The PROSECUTOR'S story proves it. He must have gone there to meet with Amelie Fenn.
Hold it!
The plushie has a recording device concealed inside it, correct?
It does, and it was used by Sean's mother, Amelie,
to record a message asking the president to meet her at the orphanage at midnight.
Wow, you're finishing each other's sentences now. What a team.
You two will peel away the layers of the truth like an onion, I'm sure of it. You do realize that there's nothing underneath all the layers of an onion, don't you, Kay? Could you try to say something a little less unfortunate sounding?
You two will peel away the layers of the truth like the skin of a wolf, I'm sure of it. He said less unfortunate sounding. Shall I continue? Except it was kidnapped and now Don happened to see it.
Could we go over the details once again? So Mr. Aldon saw the president being kidnapped from right by the orphanage.
And he was standing next to the snowman. The murderer crept up behind him, grabbed a brick, and... Ow! Eek!
Calm down, Kay. We're simply verifying our understanding of events.
Yeah, well, that little outburst just blew my understanding out of my ears. I know we have to go over all this again, but can we do it less dramatically? Really? Fine, I'm happy to keep answering if you're happy to keep asking. If Aldon had been there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping.
Hold it!
If Mr. Aldon hadn't been there, huh? That's an interesting suggestion. Care to explain?
There's not a whole lot to explain. He saw the kidnapping, so he was murdered. If he hadn't been there, maybe the kidnapping could have happened without any blood being spilled.
But could it?
Ha! You make it sound like as if it was Mr. Aldon's fault he was murdered.
That's not what Agent Long is saying, Kay. What he means is that Mr. Aldon was the only person who died at the orphanage that night.
Well, of course he was. They kidnapped the president and everything. But the ransom was paid and he came home safely, right?
She's right, of course, but why does something bother me about that? I think it might be worth taking another look over all the evidence.
Finish discussing things with your assistant, Mr. Prosecutor. Then let's continue, shall we? Instead, they have to move his body to the planters and stage that photo to throw everybody off the scent.
Hold it!
This is another very important part of our current theory. Shall we go over all the details again?
Sure, probably a good idea. Alright, first, what did Aldon see? He saw the presidents being kidnapped from right in front of the building.
But the kidnappers were keen to avoid any suggestion that they might be connected with the orphanage.
Yep, so they replaced the film in Aldon's camera and staged a photograph of the kidnapping occurring further away from the building.
Indeed. And then they moved Mr. Aldon's body to a location consistent with what the picture showed.
Grr. The secrets buried underneath the snow 12 years ago are finally coming to light.
And we're sure that's really what happened that night? ...
What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
I get the sense we're still not seeing everything, that there's something else at play behind it all.
There is? But what?
There's a piece of evidence we discovered that Agent Long's theory cannot explain. We have to present him with it and develop our thinking further.
Okay, let's try this. I'm going to present the children drawing because I believe
that the president met Canis. And usually when you see Canis, he's not here for a nice chat. He's got his trademark knife with him. So he was probably there to kill him.
Objection!
Oh no. Your statement contradicted a piece of evidence? Come on, you don't really believe that. I do, because evidence is the signpost of the truth.
Then your signpost is pointing the wrong direction.
Oh, I must have picked the wrong thing. Even without his fang, he's still a wolf. You shouldn't underestimate him. You certainly shouldn't. I'd say he's far from toothless yet.
Okay.
Wait! President's present at embassy until midnight, confirmed by Dalong Lang. And he was supposed to meet Amelie Fenn at the orphanage at midnight. So was he late, or was he at two places at once?
Objection!
Hello, Tyler. I'm doing great. I'm trying to put a lid on this case. I'm 4 hours away of finishing this game. But right now, I have a fledgling of what's going on, but it's contradicting the statement that is going to be a bit tough. Oh, no, wait. I get it. It's the blood. The blood that's not Aldown's.
Objection!
You're saying there would have been no murder if Mr. Aldown hadn't witnessed the kidnapping? But is that really the case?
Why wouldn't it be? Their main aim was to abduct the president, right? So if there hasn't been a witness present, they wouldn't have needed to murder anybody.
And yet it remains possible that Mr. Aldown wasn't the only person killed that night. There was a large pool of blood between the planters, but Mr. Aldown was murdered over by the snowman. It can't have belonged to him. What if all that blood by the planters belonged to somebody else?
Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. You do realize what you're saying, don't you?
I do. It's hard to believe, but I'll be the first to admit it. But it's what the evidence suggests. Not just one person was killed here 12 years ago, but two.
You're saying they covered up a whole separate murder? But whose? Who else was killed that night?
Whoever covered up this another homicide did so very skillfully indeed. David seemed to have been able to avoid it being mentioned in the files. I cleared the buffer from hell, what you were saying. Oh. Okay. So basically, I was... this is the last leg of his game. I intend to finish the game today, right here, right now. So stick around if you want to see the conclusion of this crazy story that carries over from all the beginning of the game. So there was an old case from 12 years ago that's been kept hush-hush, and we found out that the witness was killed, but we've seen proof that there was more blood that was there, and there was a reason why the witness was moved. The last game in the series. What, for Miles Edgeworth? Yes. This is the last game for Miles Edgeworth. So, like, this is a main story, is resolve of, the end of his personal journey towards his goal of being a prosecutor. Because you know that his story, at the beginning, he wanted to be a defense attorney like his father. And then his father got killed. And then he started to doubt the law, so he wanted to fix it by being a prosecutor. But he'd been taught by Von Karma, which is basically a perfect verdict every time. Everybody must be guilty. Evidence is everything, etc., etc. But then he had stumbled upon Phoenix Wright. And he doubted himself as a prosecutor. And for a while, he was, okay, I'm going to be at the search of the truth because this is where I really want to go. Like, this is the main reason why I wanted to be a prosecutor, is to be in the path of the truth. And right now, he's figuring out that being a prosecutor sometimes doesn't come to that end, because there's a chief prosecutor named Excelsius Winner who likes to fabricate the truth. Like, falsify evidence and stuff like that. He probably corrupted Von Karma since he was older. And also the fact that, you know, the real truth and what the truth is presented at court are two separate things. And that doesn't sit well with him. He wants to see the whole truth to be brought to court. And he figured out that staying as a prosecutor with the law that it is right now, it's a hurdle for him. So he relinquished his badge. So now he's trying to find the truth on his own as a fellow investigator. I don't know what's his angle, but people keep him around because he's got a level head, a cool demeanor, and usually he ain't wrong when it comes to conclusion right now. And right now he's uncovering a cold case from 12 years, and it was basically a cover-up for another murder, a more important murder. A murder that was worth being hidden by Interpol and the chief prosecutor at the time. They even seemed to have been able to avoid it mentioned in the files, but they didn't quite get rid of everything. We have a piece of evidence from 12 years ago that they never managed to erase. This clearly shows that something else happened that night. The drawing.
Take that!
Excelsius Winner tried to shroud the existence of the other murder in darkness, but there was one piece of evidence he wasn't able to suppress, thanks to the efforts of your father, Agent Long.
My father?
Cast your mind back, if you will. Something else was hidden along with other evidence along the crime scene. So yeah, there was a fire. They said that it was made by a kid at the orphanage, a prank. But they say that the fire happened before the murder. If that was the case, blood would have spilled on the ground where the snow melt. But here we have proof that it snowed first, blood was spilled on the snow, and the fire happened after the murder. And then there was a witness murder, and they put it on the blood stain to make it look like that's where he died. Like somebody was witness of something, they thought it was of the kidnapping, but probably he saw something else. He probably saw blood on the snow. And that's probably the reason why he was killed, because, oh, you're not supposed to be there. Something else was hidden along with all the other evidence from the crime scene. Isn't Winter taken care of now? Yes, but he did so much shit in the past, and we're trying to uncover everything that he done. The existence of the child who set the fire in front of the orphanage. But why would Chairman Winter wish to erase him from the record? Because he saw something he should not have. That's why. He did? What was it? It's right here in this picture.
The picture my father kept.
The blind assassin. I think we can all agree that's the president on the right-hand side, and that the Torosaurus toy is on his hand. But who's that standing across from him? A Bodidar Macanis. Eastern robes and a black dog. That can only be Bodidar Macanis.
What? The creepy assassin guy?
And what would a hired killer be doing in the presence of a president? I can think of only one thing. That's right. It wasn't a kidnapping that occurred 12 years ago. It was an assassination.
Ah!
And Wonder Lagarde and Chairman Winner were... Yes, I think they were complicit. More than complicit, in fact. One provided the venue for the killing, and the other suppressed the testimony of the child who witnessed it. Mr. Aldan was murdered because what he witnessed was actually an assassination, and not the kidnapping he thought it to be at all.
Do you think I'm an idiot? How could the president have died 12 years ago? We only found his body this morning. He was alive and well until just recently. You met him.
Yeah, we met him. Indeed, so we have a president killed 12 years ago, and a president killed in the last 48 hours. Two presidents, in other words. A body double. Right, which is completely impossible. Or is it? I think it's entirely possible for there to be two presidents. In fact, that would explain a lot.
But regardless of what happened, I still respected him. Zhangfa may not be a big country, but he held that place together.
The president Agent Long spoke was a noble and capable leader. The one that we met? There was a guy pretending to be strong, but he was meek. So that one was a double. All this time, we just thought it was just a shitty president who's trying to put on a face. But apparently, he used to be genuine. And this guy is just pretending to keep appearances. The presidential mask as well and truly slipped. Entirely unlike the man we met. It really did seem as if they were two completely different people. But how could one country have two presidents? What could explain a situation like that? This is how it was possible from here to be two presidents. They were twins? No. Mistaken identity? No. One of the two was a body double. Tell me that doesn't make sense.
A body double.
President Wang was a man of great power and influence in Zhangfa, a figure on the world stage. There must have been countless attempts on his life over the years, such as the one at Gourd Lake only a few days ago.
It's true, there were more than a few assassination attempts, but that doesn't mean I'm about to accept that there were more than one president. Not without proof.
Do we have any proof that there were more than one president? Yeah, I think I mentioned it when I was reading that thing over there. Like it says that the president's presence at the embassy was confirmed until midnight by Dalong Lang, which is Shilong's father. But he was supposed to meet Amelie Fan, the true mother, the biological mother of Sean, at the orphanage at midnight. Verity was her cousin, and apparently Amelie died 5 years ago, and she got custody of the child. But he calls her mom. But she knows, like the kid knew what his real mother was, but not who the real father was. But we figured out that he was the son of the president of Zhangfa, and in his will, he was to be acknowledged as is, like he would be a bastard no more. And right now, the fact is that his father probably died 12 years ago instead of 2 days ago.
Take that!
I don't think he's noticed the contradiction staring him in the face. Or is he just unable to accept it?
What's the matter, Mr. Prosecutor? You're pretty quiet all of a sudden.
In Amelie Fan's recording, she asked the president to be at the orphanage at midnight. But it should have been possible for him to be there at the time. Huh? How come? Because he was supposedly still at the embassy. With your father, Agent Long. ... So he had noticed. The only way he could have been in two places at once is if there were two of him. Ow! So the real president, that was the one who died 12 years ago? I think it might have been.
But why? And who? Who would hire Kadis to murder the president?
In order to figure that out, we'll need to look again at the piece of evidence we recently discovered was a fake. The fake evidence. What was it again? Oh, the picture. So, This picture has been made by the buddy double. That guy, the person was already dead back then. So that's why he's a stage. So that means the buddy double was in on it as well.
Take that!
The picture taken with Mr. Aldan's camera was staged sometime after his murder. And Mr. Aldan was murdered because he witnessed the president's assassination. In other words, the photograph too must have been taken after the real president's death. So who's the president in the staged photograph? The body double. Nothing else makes sense. I believe the president's double had him killed so that he could take his place permanently. That would make sense. An Excelsius winner and Fifi Lagarde helped him do it.
Wait, you don't even have a body to support your theory. Are you telling me it magically disappeared?
Objection!
No. In fact, we knew exactly where it wound up. The president's body was here the whole time. Oh. Winner went into the site to dig up something. We had no idea what it was. We thought it was basically proof of his crime, but that was probably the real president's body.
Take that!
Chairman Winner dug something up last night. Something he couldn't trust anybody else to retrieve. We thought it might have been the ransom money, but it was actually something even more important. Wait, you mean... That's right. The real president's body. I think it's highly likely anyway.
What?
The body may have decomposed in the intervening years, but the bones would surely have remained. Mr. Powers informed us that construction is due to start here sometime soon. Everything had to be wrapped up before then. The shooting of the movie and the recovery of the president's remains. Yeah, I guess once they started digging the place up to build, they would have found them pretty quick, huh? Agent Long, we need to have the so-called monster footprints analyzed again.
Yeah, I guess we do. If there was a body under one of them, there should be trace evidence to confirm it. Hey, give me somebody from forensics.
Sir, presenting the findings of our analysis, sir. Traces of human remains were found in the dirt, along with other signs of a body having been buried.
So it really was him?
Bones were also recovered from the home of Excelsius Winner. The physique looked to be about right. Dental and medical records are a match. It's him, no doubt about it. So I suspected the real President Wang was killed 12 years ago. And the SS5 kidnapping was in fact a homicide. Monster footprint data updated my organizer. Concrete was broken and the earth exposed after Excelsius Winner dug up President Wang's corpse. Wow, so it really was a murder, huh? This case has taken so many twists and turns, I'm starting to lose track. Yes. Perhaps we should summarize our findings just to confirm what we understand everything correctly. Good idea. Let's go over everything from the point where the president arrived at the orphanage. 12 years ago, the real President Wang visited the orphanage. His aim? To meet his infant son. So here's the president. He made the footsteps in the snow. The footprints we originally assumed to be those of Mr. Aldan seems likely to have actually been made by the president upon his arrival. There you go. But instead of being greeted by his child, the killer, he was met by the assassin, one Bodhidharma Canis. And then he got stabbed. That's so sad. He was hoping to see his baby for the first time, only to... Indeed. At least with Mr. Canis, we can be sure that the job was swiftly and effectively completed. But then, after the assassination, another tragedy occurred. Mr. Aldan's murder. Yes, it seems we witnessed a key moment in the evening proceedings. The moment when our culprit, the so-called kidnappers, air quote, took the president's body around to the side of the building to bury him by the planters. So this would have been the body double, and Excelsius. That was the site that sealed his fate. We've now established that he was standing by the orphanage gates at the time. This is Al Down, far enough away that he believed that what he was seeing was the president's adoption. Because he was unconscious and two people were carrying him around. Oh, he's been adopted. He didn't see the blood yet, but he could have seen the blood yet, but didn't have time to see the blood yet. Because that's when he was killed. At which point, Fifi Lagarde... Oh. That was probably the fake president. That was probably the body double here. The body double had to come meet up with his co-conspirators, walk right up behind Mr. Aldown, leading to our unfortunate eyewitness being murdered by the man who was plotting to replace the president. So, was it the body double who moved Mr. Aldown's body too? Well, yes, I think it probably was. Okay. Yeah, because in order to not make further footsteps, it would have to be the body double. None of the footprints could have been his, could they? Yes, he would have to walk on the former president's footstep, and nobody would be none the wiser. Actually, I think they could. In fact, we have a piece of evidence that proves how a particular trick was achieved. What shows how the body double managed to move the body without leaving any footprints? By walking in his literal shoes?
Take that!
What if the president's double moved Mr. Aldown's body like this? After killing Mr. Aldown, he grabbed like a bag of potatoes, because he's strong enough for that, could have carried him to the other side of the entrance. Given that his job was to look just like the president, he would have been wearing the same shoes. Meaning that if he stepped exactly in the footprints left by the real president, of course, his would have been the same shape and size. It would have looked like a single set of footprints. So that's how it all went down. I'm so glad we finally figured it out. Wait, but there's one thing I still don't get. There is? What? Why did they need to pretend there was a kidnapping? Mr. Aldown has seen the president at the orphanage and left a message on Miss Ringer's phone describing what he thought he saw. It would have been impossible for the conspirators to erase that message, so they had to make it look like as if the events described in the message were true, by staging a kidnapping like the one he thought he saw. Exactly. I think the two people in the photograph are likely to be the body double and Fifi Lagarde. She's the one in the trench coat. How can you be so sure of that? The two of them would have had to walk out beyond the orphanage gate to the stage to stage the photo. The body double could have put his feet in the real president's print as he did before, by walking backwards. So the other set of footprint were hers, the size 7. Oh, what is size 9? Yeah, size 9 shoes. Size 12 for the president and 9 for Fifi. The ones we originally thought belonged to the killer, yes. They were about a size 9, too small for Chairman Winner, in other words. Which means the kidnapper must have been played by Warden Lagarde. And that explained how a so-called kidnapping was actually a presidential assassination. There you go.
It does, which means my father must have.
He must have?
Noticed. There's no way he wouldn't have suspected murder. Especially not with the kid's picture as proof.
But the picture was never officially put into evidence, correct? No. He appeared to have kept hold of it after taking the witness statement of the child who drew it.
Yeah, because he knew. He knew President Wang was dead.
Yeah, if he would have made the official announcement, the country would stir into chaos. And he took it as a responsibility to keep it to itself.
He knew what would happen if that news ever got out.
Yeah, Shagfa would have been plunged into chaos, no doubt.
So he kept it a secret, and that secret died with him. even though it meant taking the blame for the kidnapping and our family name being ruined.
So your father knew the truth about what happened 12 years ago, but he chose to hide it. Well, it's finally coming to light at last. SS5 instant case file data updated in my organizer. 12-year-old incident in which President Wang was kidnapped and the sole witness was murdered, yeah. Is it indeed? Intriguing. Huh? What?
Who's there?
That sound! Is that a bell? Body Dharma Canis! An helmet!
What the heck are you doing here? Where's the law? You think you can just show up in front of us like you ain't had a problem?
Forgive me, but I couldn't help overhearing the fascinating conversation you were having. The opportunity to gloat over your past crimes was just too good to miss, I expect.
You killed President Wang!
I did, but it's not something I'm inclined to gloat over. I was more interested in something else you mentioned, or someone else, should I say. Someone you're looking for, I suppose. Exactly, that's why I took a little sojourn from the penitentiary to find a certain young pup. A young pup in a rather eye-catching red raincoat. Oh. What? Wait, you know who they are? In a manner of speaking, what did you call them again? A secret mastermind?
It's your friend in the red raincoat, of course.
Red raincoat. The prosecutor looks a little surprised, doesn't he, Elmwood? Yes, he does. Yes, he does, yes. The young pup I mentioned, he saved my life, 12 long years ago. My unexpected savior? Wait, is he saying that the guy in the red hood is the orphan who drew the picture and set the orphanage on fire? The same guy? Wow! As you have surmised, it was I who killed President Wang. But that meant that I too became an inconvenience in need of removal. The imposter, President Winner, Lagarde, all three were keen to guarantee my silence. And if I haven't met my friend, the young pup, again, they might even have succeeded. I wonder what he's doing now. So it was the president's body double who hired you. I remember his word almost as if it were yesterday. You know how many times I've nearly killed? Not once, not twice, a bunch of times. Why do I have to take all the risk? Why am I the one they always put in danger? When I'm out there being him, people treat me like I was him. They worship me. So what's the difference? Who's to say I couldn't just be as good as him? There was a difference, of course. Even if he did look and sound exactly like him. Just because it walks and talks like a president, that doesn't make it a president. Does it, boy? Oh, no. There's a big difference. So he got his wish and became the boss, but couldn't quite fill his predecessor's shoes.
Rook's not around. That means I'm number one.
I wonder if you have what it takes to step into such capable shoes.
You? Of course I do. I'm the leader now. Me!
Seems the king and his knight were much the same. The president's double knew that his employer had a weakness. A young woman named Amelie. But in order to find her, he needed to enlist the help of locals. Locals such as Chairman Winner. Once Miss Fenn has been located, they simply needed to find the right tribe to lay their trap. The meeting she arranged so the president could meet his son. That would have been the perfect opportunity. Indeed, and with the head of the orphanage brought into the fold, the little conspiracy was complete. Warden Lagarde. Now, qui pro quo, where might I find the pup? What makes you think the boy you're up to and our mysterious string puller are one and the same? He set a little fire that night, out there in the yard of the orphanage. Oh yeah, we saw that. It was some kind of a prank, right? A prank? It was nothing of the sort, my dear. No, as I understand it, he had taken refuge in the igloo by the entrance. He was there the whole time. From there, he happened to see Winner and Lagarde carrying away a dead body. He also overheard them hatching a certain sordid little plot. A plot to remove me, the only other person who knew what had really happened from the picture. They planned to double-cross the hired assassin. Wow! Thankfully, he was kind enough to come and inform me. I was waiting inside the building, you see. He also happened to mention later on that he was wearing his favorite raincoat. Red raincoat. In any case, he escorted me from the premises. He was inside, and being a very considerate boy, thought to erase both our footprints from the scene of the crime. It seems he had a little kerosene set aside in the igloo for such just an occasion. He got some gas over there just in case shit. What, did he have an escape plan that requires kerosene? He's like, oh, might as well use it. And douse it all over the entrance. So he spread it liberally around the place and set himself a little fire. No way, so that's what the fire was for? It must have been so beautiful. Winner and Lagarde were positively enchanted. And while they were distracted by the show, he took the opportunity to usher me out of the side entrance.
You never answer my question. You really think he's the one behind all this?
I do indeed, don't I, Helmut? Yes, I do. Yeah. My unexpected savior. It was I who killed President Wang.
You were pretty forthcoming with that particular admission.
If I'm honest, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm tired of all the killing. But back then, I felt like death was my path. I embraced it and strove to learn what it had to teach. I have made my peace with that, and I am happy to admit it. Aren't I, boy? Yes, I am. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but I definitely don't like the sound of it.
Basically, he thought nothing of murdering the president. And not only is he an assassin, he's now a prison escapee. Not someone to be trifled with. But we can't afford for him not to talk. I'll need to tread as carefully as I can. Very well, you killed the president, and you're happy to admit it.
Oh, very much so. I wouldn't want you to thinking that I drew my blade and missed. But that meant that I too became an inconvenience in need of removal.
You a target, but you're an assassin.
Sometimes the hunter must become the hunted. Sometimes the living must become the dead.
Please, Kay, don't feel the need to add a proverb of your own.
Impermanence is inherent to the way of the assassin. Life-takers' lives are taken. So it goes. Wait, does that mean the people you're sent to kill sometimes try to kill you back, or... It happens, occasionally, but it's not what happened this time. The imposter President Winner, Lagarde, all three were keen to guarantee my silence.
Hold it!
But Mr. Countess, you're a professional killer, and a famously skilled one at that.
But I'm also one man. Even if I have skill, I'm still blind. 3 against 1, I'm dead.
Surely escaping even 3 attackers would have been little more than a minor inconvenience.
You overestimate me, Mr. Edgeworth. You seem to forget that without Helmut here, I couldn't even walk down the street. Against 3 assailants, I wouldn't have lasted more than a few moments.
I see, so even the most proficient assassins are ill-equipped to face a full frontal assault.
Well, no shit. Haven't you played Assassin's Creed? They're wearing low armor. Or no armor at all. Like, they're making their move, hoping they'll never get caught. Being caught is not part of the equation. We're not usually fond of such situations, shall we say. I certainly wouldn't like my chances. And if I had met my friend the young pup again, there might even have succeeded.
Hold
it! Again? So the two of you have met before?
Yes, on a cold and lonely Christmas Eve 18 years back. Wait. Christmas Eve 18 years ago. The IS-7 incident. Carmelo Gusto and Artie Frost's son would both visit. Oh shit! The guy in the red hood is one of the kid. Carmelo Gusto and Artie Frost's son. Found the link for what? Yeah, we found the kid. Yeah, we found the kid. It's either it's either Gusto's son or Artie Frost's son. One of the two.
That long ago?
But on that occasion, it was I who saved his life. It was snowing more than it had in years, and cold enough that death by freezing was a real possibility. I had taken Helmut out for a little walk. He noticed something, and bounded off through the snow. When I caught up to him, he was sniffing in the car. The door had frozen shut. I took all the strength I had, but eventually I managed to open one. There they are. Inside, I found two young boys shivering and semi-conscious. Yeah, the one that's tied down is Gusto's son, and the buzz cut guy is Artie Frost.
Two?
Yes, and I had found them. Even an hour later, the poor wretched would never have made it. I took them both to a nearby orphanage.
Is it me or there's something significant about what he just told us?
There is.
What is it about Candy's statement that is especially noteworthy?
The date.
This was on Christmas Eve 18 years ago. You're certain of that?
I am. Holy smokes. He knows it too. Because he was in charge of the IS-7 incident as well.
We have something that shows what that date is so significant.
Yeah, alright. I was a bit ahead of myself, but yeah, I had to.
Take that!
That was the same day on which a certain incident occurred. The murder of a well-known sculptor.
No way!
An incident in the aftermath of which 2 children went missing.
I was wondering what happened to those kids. Like, it felt like the story cannot be over. What happened to the kids? And the guy is just, oh, I don't give a fuck about my son anymore. Like, how dare you? Yeah, him. Damn, look.
The son of the victim, Artie Frost, and the son of the murderer, Carmelo Gusto.
Yeah, now that you mention it, the little guys did go AWOL, huh? They went into an orphanage. Intriguing! The son of a murderer and the son of his victim. I suppose that would make sense.
It would?
One of the boys was bound head and foot, you see. That must have been part of Mr. Frost's plan to stop Mr. Gusto's son from getting to the competition. I knew it! Will kidnapped his son. The son of Gusto, and he got killed for that.
Indeed, because without his son to taste his creation, Mr. Gusto could have no chance of winning.
Yeah, so that was what was behind it all. Sadly, neither of the boys were able to remember any such details.
They weren't?
No, when we met each other again on that night 12 years ago, the young pup explained it to me. It seems that they really were on the brink of death when I found them. So yeah, the trauma probably erased their memory. The shock of the experience caused them both to lose their memories. Yeah, that's what I said. They weren't even able to remember their names. Their own names. Wow. Wow, so they wouldn't have known they were Mr. Frost and Mr. Gusto's kids. If what he's telling us is true, that would seem likely, yes. Which means we still don't have enough to tell us who our mastermind might be. Mr. Connis, would you mind telling us what happened next? Yeah, by all means! The pup and I. The pup and I remained in contact even after I was sent to prison. But then I stopped hearing from him. I couldn't help but worry. And then people from 12 years ago started cropping up all over the place. It rather piqued my curiosity, so I thought I'd temporarily regain my freedom and look into things. Huh. People from 12 years ago. You mean Lagarde, Winner, and the President, I assume? Well, Warden Lagarde was in charge of the prison where he was an inmate this whole time, right? Yeah, I fear I wasn't as kind to her as I could have been. But then she did try to have me killed. You already know why, of course. Because you murdered President Wong. But they needed the world to believe he was still alive. If somebody had exposed the president as a fake, it would have been bad for Lagarde and Chairman Winner too. Exactly, and not only that, I happened to overhear something else intriguing that night. I'll be waiting at the orphanage on the evening of the 9th. I'll be waiting in the front yard. I thought you could meet him if you like, even if it's only just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's where we'll be. Goodbye.
Who are you? Sorry, but I'm waiting for somebody.
I know you are, President Wang. I couldn't help overhearing the news. Congratulations. Oh, okay, so he played the message Amelie gave him. And Canis overheard that. But please don't worry about your son. I only kill those I am employed to kill, which in this case means you.
No! Wait, this is my first chance to meet him. And it might be my only chance. Please, give me just a few minutes longer.
I thought he was going to beg for his life, but no. An interesting character. I told him I was not aware that he had a child. No, he said, and shook his head. Neither was I, but the world will know what I have won now. I mean to make sure of it. I even prepared something in case the worst comes to worst. And the son in question, it was the young gentleman with the horns here, correct? Horns, you mean? You can see them? Oh, I don't need to, my dear. I've been listening very carefully, you see. And for longer than you may realize.
So the president meant to tell the world about Sean and prepare something in case of the worst?
Yeah, it was in the will.
But it's not enough to simply to have Candace's word on the matter. Of course!
We have something that proves that he's telling us the president said is true. The will. The will everybody knew about. He entrusted it to my family to show his belief in us, after all.
The name in the recording, the preparation he had made, and his will. With those three pieces of information, I was able to convince Warden Lagarde to do anything I asked.
With the information at his disposal, he could have exposed the truth about the body double at any time, and Sean's true identity with it. ...
President Wang was more agile than I anticipated. He blocked my first knife thrust with something soft.
The plushie. He blocked the blade with the plushie. That's why the arm got screwed loose
By the time the piece had broken off in the snow, my next strike had hit his mark.
So it was Canis who tore the horn off of the PROSECUTOR'S doll.
I was the only one present to hear his final word, the only one who knew the truth about his son. Well, me and that poor pup. The pup and I remained in contact even after I was sent to prison.
So you were able to continue communicating with him from prison?
Yeah, I was, via a post office box. What's that?
It's a means of exchanging mail without revealing one's own address.
I never knew where he was, and I wasn't able to slip out and track him down. I was being kept under rather strict supervision, you see.
By Warden Lagarde, no doubt. What were you two of you even communicating about?
We were playing correspondence chess, of course. Oh! Bronco Knight? That and griping about our respective lots in life. Was Bronco Knife the... Wait. But now he's dead. Wait! Correspondence chess? But didn't you used to play that with...
As unlikely as it may seem, Mr. Canis' chess opponent was...
Mr. Knight? Yeah, it was Mr. Knight.
We found the diagram of the game in his cell too.
Correspondence chess diagram data jotted down in my organizer. So does that mean Knight had something to do with all that IS-7 business?
Wait, could that be it? Do we have any evidence that might connect Knight to the IS-7 incident?
His ring. Wait. I cannot see the ring well, but... Holy shit! I can see it better now because of the resolution. But on the DS game, we cannot see shit about the ring, but yeah.
This is everything Knight left behind. The chessboard and the ring. Could there be a clue in there somewhere? A ring and a chess set.
Which one should we look at more closely? The ring. Get this. PH. What about it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Mr. Fender, take a closer look at it if you would.
That design. That's Paul League's trademark mark.
Indeed. It looks like somebody turned the stamp he used to sign his work with into a ring. But why would Knight have been carrying it? And why was it not with the rest of the evidence from the IS-7 incident?
They tried to release Frost's personal effects to his next of kin after the case went down. But if I remember rightly, old Frosty boy didn't have any family aside from his kid. And the kid was missing, so they never got to hand it back to him. Not until later, anyhow. I heard on the grapevine that they found him at the end and gave him the goods.
Including the seal, it would seem. Which he turned into a ring and wore it until his own death.
Knight's position data updated in my organizer. So, Knight is Artie Frost's child. So we're saying Mr. Knight was Mr. Frost's son? The cops don't mess around with stuff like that. They would have made sure before handing it over. And we were looking for somebody connected to the IS-7 incident to play correspondence chess, right? Wait, so our secret string puller is Bronco Knight?
Objection!
Well, Knight is dead. How could he possibly be involved in our current case?
Far out. So our only candidate for genius mastermind is a guy who already kicked the bucket? That's impossible. How can a dead guy be behind all this?
It is a little perplexing. But then who else could it be?
I stopped hearing him, but I couldn't help but worry.
Hold
it! He stopped responding? That seems strange.
Sorry. I'm glad you agree. Elmwood did too, of course. That big scary mutt really said that? What, like woof woof, that's barking mad?
He does not need to talk in order for me to hear him, my dear.
He doesn't? Okay, well, let me ask you something. That look is giving me the super intense kind of scary glare. He's not trying to say he's hungry, is he?
He might be.
He might be? Mr. Edgeworth, help! Cameron isn't fond of Kansas pet, it seems.
Yes, there's a good boy. Now, where was I? Of course, I suddenly stopped hearing from the pup.
And then people from 12 years ago started cropping up all over the place.
Hold it!
It does all seem like a little too much of a coincidence, doesn't it? An attempt was made on the life of the man who was pretending to be President Wang all these years. Warden Lagarde murdered Bronco Knight while he was being held at the prison she ran. An Excelsius winner, chairman of the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence, murdered Rosie Ringer. And the more I think back, the more it seems at the time that some mysterious other presence was lurking behind all those incidents.
Yes, even from behind bars, it was rather obvious that something strange was going on. It rather piqued my curiosity, so I thought I'd temporarily regain my freedom and look into things.
Hold it!
So you thought you would temporarily regain your freedom? Could you be any more brazen?
Yeah, even a thief would struggle to get away with something like, I thought I would temporarily steal it. Fear not, nobody was injured in the course of my escape. It wasn't necessary after all. I had my ways. Let's leave it at that, shall we?
Yes.
Leave it at that. No way, pal. You escape, and I ought to arrest you right now. There'll be no need for that, Detective. As soon as my business is concluded, I will return home willfully to myself.
Are you serious? Prison isn't supposed to be some place you can just stroll in and out of when you please.
Strange that you should say that. Weren't you the one who strolled in to try and dig into my past only recently?
You!
Agent Long, Detective Gumshoe, I need to be able to question Mr. Canis further. Could you both try to remain calm for now?
Sure thing, sir. Kinda knew you were gonna say that. Fine, but I'm not taking my eyes off of Dogman. Not even for a second, you hear?
I did so used to enjoy tapping out my little letters in Braille.
Braille? It's not in Braille. It says correspondence, just Body Dharma printed. It's printed. There's no Braille, it's printed.
Objection!
You said that you wrote all your letters in Braille. Is that correct?
I don't mean to be rude, Mr. Prosecutor, but you do know about my condition, do you?
Well, that's odd, because the chess diagram we found in Knight's cells didn't contain any Braille at all.
Really? But surely that's impossible.
How so exactly?
Maybe someone typed Mr. Canis's letter out on purpose?
Meaning there may have been some sort of intermediary between the two of them?
So then...
Mr. Canis says he's wrote his letters in Braille, and yet the letters received by Mr. Knight contain no Braille at all. This suggests that there must be a third party who typed Mr. Canis's letters out.
Guess it could have worked the same way on the flip side too, right? Whoever it was who could have taken Knight's letter and turned them back into Braille.
They could indeed.
Correspondence chess diagram, data updated my organizer. Letter from Canis retyped by the mastermind and then sent on to Bronco Knight.
I think you and Mr. Knight were both communicating with this person, Mr. Canis. Mr. Canis, the answer you received...
They were written in Braille too, yes! So some mysterious mill person really was retyping the Bronxter's missives? And that same person
might well be our secret string puller.
Wait, you're trying to say there's another hidden mastermind behind this whole thing? So who's the new one?
Bronco Knight, son of Artie Frost, is already dead. But what if the other child from the incident 18 years ago was actually who we've been looking for? The child of Gusto.
Carmelo Gusto's son. But who is he? And where is he?
If Knight was Frost's son, Gusto's son would have to be. I've known him since we were kids. When both of us were all alone. He doesn't have any family, you see, just like me. Him! But surely not. Oh my god.
What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? You're white as a sheet.
We had him, Kay. We were defending him, Kay.
For a while, there were no activity about the guy in the red raincoat because he was arrested, Kay.
Of course, it all makes sense. I know exactly who our so-called mastermind is.
What? Who? You have to tell us.
I can hardly believe it, but it's somebody we know rather well. The person we've been looking for is the animal tamer in training at the very big circus.
Take that!
It has to be the person behind all of this. The person who forced Chairman Wenner hand by sending the letter to Rosie Ringer. The person who kidnapped Sean and bugged Kay and myself. The person who did the strangest thing of all. Who drugged Kay and carried her to the roof of the big building. It was the monster.
What? What did you really just say? What I thought you just did?
Yes, the monster. That was the key to unmasking our mastermind.
Oh, I almost forgot. We're doing a new show soon. I would love it if you could come, Mr. Edgeworth. The one, the only, the very big circus is back. There's a balloon in the back with the head of a lion. I'll be joining Regina on stage for this one.
That's right, the very big circus is the biggest, most fabulous event in town. You'll have oodles of fun.
Miss Lloyd, could I ask a favor?
Oh, little old me? What kind of favor?
You told us you recorded the sound of Torosaurus breathing fire. Proof? What kind of proof? Did you capture something on your tape recorder, perhaps?
Ooh, you're good, Raffles. Sharper than a gosh dang tack. I captured the sound of that big old beastie breathing fire is what I captured. Sure did. Like I said, I didn't precisely see the guy, but boy, did I hear him.
Can we listen to the tape?
You surely can. Let's see now.
That's it, that sound. It must be what I think it is.
The thing that Alex thought was a pink sound. I didn't say my opinion, but I think this is a burner. It reminds me of the sound of the little burner that I use to make my creme brulee and burning my meringue. That little butane flamethrower thingy. It sounds like that. But it's probably a burner for something bigger.
My theory is to be correct. The truth about the monster, the identity of the person behind all of this, it's all falling into place. Miss Hart, you saw a giant eye at the window of the storeroom, did you not?
Yep, snap me a picture of it too, even if you can't rightly see it so well.
We can't see it right now, but Detective Yumshu, we need little V.
Yes, sir.
Your image analyzer, can we borrow it again?
Sure, but what do you want to look at, sir?
This photograph right here.
Gotcha, I'm on it.
The clue we're looking for must be here. We just have to find it.
At the top corner, zoom in. Yeah, that's an eye, but that's the eye of the lion we saw in the balloon.
Eureka!
That's...
Say? I done told y'all, Torosaurus, his own dang self.
Yes, there it is at last. The monster commanded by the architect of this old scheme.
Monster? Da-da-dun, 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 da-da-dun. Hold it! You finally ready to admit it that it's dang well real, the big bad bull itself?
Objection!
No, because that isn't Torosaurus at all. It's the eye of a different giant beast entirely. Take a look at this if you would.
The very big circus flyer. Oh wait, look!
You see it, the enormous lion balloon? That's the real monster!
So, just like Gordy, who happened to be the Steel Samurai balloon, Torosaurus is actually the lion hot air balloon. But this one is a real hot air balloon. But this is the part that I call bullshit. Is like a thing that big, you would see it even if it's during the night. Oh, nobody saw a balloon. Like, you cannot make a secret exit with a balloon.
And the sound Miss Lloyd thought was the creature breathing fire?
Hold that. Oh, come on! You're really gonna bring me crashing down to earth like that? That's how balloons fly, huh? They burn gas to make hot air.
They do, and our culprit was able to use that balloon to carry Kay up to the roof of the big building without ever going near the elevator.
Ah. And that's how the fake president of Zhangpa managed to leave the building. Because he was in that balloon as well. But wait. The time of death is yesterday, but he went missing 2 days ago. That doesn't make sense. That's the only thing that doesn't make sense. So this culprit, they've got something to do with the circus? Circus worker, friend of the Bronxster, son of Gusto. Whoa, you're not serious.
You forgot to mention trainee animal tamer. It's hard to believe. But he's the one who's been pulling the strings this whole time.
It was Money the Monkey all along! Put him to jail!
That's right. Simeon Saint is the one behind all this.
Simeon! But everything? Really? I don't believe you. We trusted him, and he trusted us. You can't tell me that's what all lies. That would be too horrible.
I'm sorry, Kay. Who said all that?
What's this now? Fake call from Amazon. Sorry about that. So who was that? That's a fake call. Hey, where do you think you're going, old man? Oh, as soon as we named the guy, Candace just left. Is he gonna meet him? Nothing escapes you, does it, young pup? My congratulations, Mr. Edgeworth. But now that I know the truth, my business here is done.
What? No, Mr. Candace, wait.
Oh my god, the dog just jumped on us so he could escape. Yeah, he's gone.
Damn it, he disappeared.
Are you okay, Mr. Edgeworth?
Don't worry, I'm fine. But...
Damn you!
Are you alright, Sean?
He killed my dad. He did, right?
There's no easy way to say it, but... Sorry, Sean. It would appear that he did.
He won't get away with it. I'll make him pay. Somehow, some way, I'll...
No, Sean! You mustn't say such things! I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. You'll have to forgive us both. ...
I just put the call out, sir. All units on the lookout for Mr. Connis. I don't mean to hurry everybody, but we better be on our way too. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, where do you think we'll find our mastermind?
I suppose you're right. We should go after the mastermind right now. He said he has some to practice for the show, which I guess means he'll be at the circus. But before we leave, there's something I would like to ask you, Agent Long.
There is? What?
Once the beast has been sighted, the next step is to plan his capture. When we arrive, there's something we'll need to try and find as a matter of priority. And Detective, I would like you to look into something that's been bothering me about Sean's kidnapping.
Yes, sir!
I want to help too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Good. There's somebody I would like you to try and contact. If Saint really is our mastermind, we're going to need this person's help. Between our many encounters, I've never suspected a thing, even though he was right there in front of me. I messed up. There's no other way of putting it. But I'm going to put things right once and for all.
To be continued. Save your progress. Yes. This is the end. Later, the mastermind's true face. Alright. April 6th, 5:30 p.m. Very Big Circus. The Big Top. Yeah. There's the monkey, the parrot, the snake, the elephant. There's bear on the side. And we see Simeon Saint in his clown costume with monkey on his head.
Oh, hey, Mr. Edgeworth!
Did you guys come watch the show?
Hello, Miss Berry. Mr. Saint.
You're a little early, I'm afraid. We're still practicing. But I'm glad you kept your promise.
Yes, I remember you giving me this.
That's so great. You're going to have so much fun. I think even you'll be surprised, Mr. Edgeworth.
Huh. I think you've surprised me enough for one day already.
What are you talking about?
Would you mind looking at this photograph, Miss Berry? That's the eye painted on the balloon you used to advertise the circus, correct?
Oh, yeah. What is it exactly?
I have a strong suspicion that the balloon was used by the criminal we've been looking for.
You do?
Who is usually in charge of the balloon, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, that would be Simeon. But wait, you don't mean... ...
Mr. Saint? You took the balloon out late the other night, didn't you?
Sure, I was practicing. I'm still pretty bad at flying it, so I need to put up in some extra hours.
At night, when it would have been even more difficult than usual. A strange time to decide to practice.
But why else would I have been taking the balloon out? What are you saying?
That you weren't practicing at all. You were taking an unconscious Kay to the top of the big building in order to frame her for the murder of Rosie Ringer. The security camera never recorded Kay taking the elevator up to the roof, which means she must have gotten there another way, from the sky. And the only person able to make that happen would have been you.
But, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't understand.
That's not all you did. You also attacked Sean at the garbage disposal area, drugged him, and carried him away. That's why you were late for the hearing of the courthouse, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I do any of those things? Please, you have to believe me. I'd never ever do anything like that.
I wish I could believe you, but I can't. Any trust I had in you had been completely destroyed.
That's horrible. Why would you say that? You told me back at the jail. You said you believe I was innocent.
About you killing Bronco Knight, but everything else doesn't apply.
You don't have to worry about that. We're friends. We know what it's like to be in your shoes. We're all part of the same club after all, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Unfortunately so, I'm afraid. Thank you for sharing such personal details with us. By the sound of it, you had little reason to kill Knight. If anything, you're the one most affected by his passing. And what's more, I simply don't believe a person as gentle as you is capable of murder. But instigating murder is another thing. Rest assured, we'll believe you, and we will get you out of here.
This is just awful! I never thought you'd lie to me! We didn't lie. I swear, Simeon, You said you knew what it was like to be me. I trusted you. That hurts, Kay. It hurts so much. Oh, come on, Mr. Edgeworth. This is Simeon we're talking about. He's not a bad person.
Objection!
I see it now. That's your strategy, isn't it? With everybody. You root out their psychological weaknesses and exploit them. And without even realizing it, they wind up doing exactly what you want them to. Exactly the behavior one would expect from the arch manipulator behind all our recent troubles.
You can't prove shit.
I was too blind to see it before, but you won't fool me again. Simeon Saint, you are guilty of crimes too numerous to mention.
Oh, so that's how you want to play, huh? You always did have the courage of your conviction, I guess. Luckily, grinding people's self-belief into dust is kind of a hobby of mine. So Monkey's changing the makeup, the birds are undoing his hair, the squirrels are rebrushing his hair, and he's got a frowned face. A pig, a squirrel, and a Siamese cat, a Siberian cat, is making a stool for him to hang on from. Oh, I like this new song. Huh. Well done, all of you.
Well, this is certainly a side of him we haven't seen before. So much for the trainee animal trainer who wouldn't hurt a fly. I guess that was all an act. But I'm glad we're finally getting to meet the real you.
Simeon, this can't be true, can it?
Truth, lies, what does it matter?
Huh?
All you need to know is that Mr. Edgeworth here made me very mad indeed. He's juggling with squirrels, but they're just jumping from one hand to the other and then they're flipping. And now he's going to pay. I was just out practicing. Sure, I went up in a balloon a couple of nights ago, but I was just practicing. I guess somebody took that picture when I flew by the big building. I fly around the area doing promo stuff for the circus all the time. Nothing to see here, Miles. Nothing at all.
So you go up in the balloon reasonably often?
Yeah, promoting the circus like I said.
Is that true, Miss Berry?
Well, it's true that it's Simeon's job to go up in the balloon and spread the word. I guess just about everybody in the area would have seen him up there by now.
Well, that same balloon was used in the commission of a crime.
Nonsense. I just happened to be in the area when it happened. Somebody took a picture when I was floating past the big building, that's all.
I'll be the judge of whatever you just happened to be nearby. Thank you very much.
Sure, I went up in the balloon a couple of nights ago, but I was just practicing.
Hold it!
This balloon, do you usually launch it up from here at the circus?
No. You need a wide open space. There's a park over there by Sunshine Coliseum.
That's where I usually take off from.
I see, and how do you get to the balloon, to the park, to launch it?
Not by hand, that's for sure. That thing must weigh a few 100 pounds. It's kind of impressive that it can't even get off to the ground now that I think about it.
I'd prefer it if you didn't change the subject. How do you transport the balloon?
Wow, give a guy a break, will ya? It's not like I was getting miles off track. Sheesh. We use a truck, okay? You just load it on the back and away you go.
A truck, you say?
Yeah, last time I took it out would have been 2 days ago.
That could be important. I'd better keep it in mind.
The last time I took the balloon out of the truck would have been the day before the last.
During the murder. I'm gonna press it. I won't risk it.
So, just to confirm, the truck hadn't been anywhere else since then?
Why would you need to confirm that? I just told you, didn't I?
Answer the question. Or are you trying to avoid this one too?
Oh! That was a cheap shot even for you. If I say something, you don't need to confirm it because I just said it. See how that works? But since you insist, the truck being parked out back since the day before the last, and the balloon was still loaded on the back, basket and all, now explain to me why that even matters.
Not right now. I think I just thank you for giving me a straight answer for once and leave it there. So he means to insist that the truck has been parked here since 2 days ago. I think you might have let more slip there than you realize, Mr. Saint.
Are you done? Alright, as I was saying, I guess somebody took the picture when I flew by the big building.
So you're saying you just happened to fly past somebody via camera too?
Oh, I get it. I'm starting to understand how you think, Miles. Next, you'll say something like, there's no way that was a coincidence, right? Then it's down to the slippery slope to there's no such thing as coincidences. Now, that's a scary thought.
That's not what Mr. Edward was saying at all. Why can't you just...
Don't play to his hand, Kay. He's deliberately trying to frustrate you. He's hoping that by needling us, he'll be able to avoid the question. And why do you think he would try to do that?
Because he's a clown? No, because he's got something to hide.
Precisely. So we can't let up. We have to stay on the offensive. But we have to remain calm while doing so.
Gotcha. Hey, Simeon! This highly capable prosecutor's assistant has a question for you. Are you trying to tell us you just happened to fly past the big building?
He's right, you know. I wasn't going to answer. But you're so bad at this, Kay, I guess I'd better throw you a bone. I fly around the area doing promo stuff for the circus all the time.
Hold it!
You're in charge of both the promotional work the balloon is used for and the balloon itself? Is that correct?
You don't believe a word I say, do you? But it's true. Ask the boss. Right, boss?
Yep, Simeon's in charge of keeping it clean and making sure all working's properly and everything. I don't think anybody even touches it except for him. Not lately, anyhow.
Interesting. I think we can simply say that it was in the balloon when it was photographed the other night. But if he's our mastermind, there are parts of his plan he would have had to carry out today too. Perhaps we need to dig into those a little more.
Why the big silence? It's not like this is tricky stuff to process. There was a balloon. It was flying to the sky like balloons do. End of story. Nothing to see here, Miles. Nothing at all.
Is that so? Not only were you flying at night, multiple crimes were committed on that same evening. And you expect me to believe that there's nothing to see, as you put it?
Are you trying to provoke me, Miles? It's not very nice, you know, starting fights with people. I'm a clown. We're all about smiles, not frowns.
He's certainly skilled at steering the conversation away from the topic at hand. But that's not going to help him. I just have to stay on the attack. We don't know a whole lot about this balloon just yet. I think we just try and learn a little more about it. Okay.